Let me unmute the mic first. What to do, folks? It's your boy Charles Younger here, talking to you from the voice of college football on the University of Maryland. And today we're going to talk about the NFL draft, which is coming up this Thursday, broadcasted on all your media, NFL, NFL TV network, ESPN, so on and so on. So we're going to talk about some Maryland players who are available this coming NFL draft and where they might go. It's going to be a quick. Unfortunately, the OG, the Professor G, Mark Gray, could not be with us today. He has some unforeseen circumstances that have not allowed him to participate, but he will be back. So Uncle will be back. So don't worry about that. All right. First off, as you see here from our little list here, we have a nice selection of players coming up. Ty Felton, Jordan, wide receiver, Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle, Dante Trader Jr., safety, Caden Prather, wide receiver, Tommy, I'm going to butcher his name, so forgive me, Oking Boasete. I should be better pronouncing last names like that. Since my last name is Charles. My last name is Yongo, and people always butcher my last name, so I should do a better job. But it's a learning process here with Voice of College Football. We also have Marcus Dumerville, the offensive tackle, and Ryan Hipperlight, who is the second, who's a linebacker. Now, we're going to go ahead and talk about some where we think these guys will go in the draft, because they do have quite the resume here, and possibly we might have some video to talk about these guys. So first, let's go with the top guy on the list, and that is Ty Felton. Now, Ty is a wide receiver who is, as you can see from his numbers, has quite the good numbers here. He is a 6'1", 183-pound receiver, so he can play the outside, he can play the inside. If you look at his prospect compared to some of the other wide receivers, we have Travis Hunter's obviously the top-rated receiver coming out at a 94, and Ty Felton is at 83.4 rating. So look at his measurables. Like I said, 6'1". 183, arm length 30, wingspan 72 and 6'8". He does have a good 40 time at a 4.37, so he's got good breakaway speed. Vertical leap at 39.5, solid leaping ability. His broad jump at 130, and then he has his 10-yard dash at 1.5. So it's like he's got all the measurables. If you look at where he rates when it comes to his overall rating when targeted by quarterbacks do well when they throw to him. 108 QB rating. His ratings here is his hands are pretty good. Short receiving, intermediate routes, deep threat. Not the biggest guy, so his blocking is probably limited. And if you want to scroll down here, some of his scouting report strengths. He has elite speed, which shows up on tape. What that basically means is he runs a 4.37 at the combine, but that does play well on the field. And if you don't believe me, let's go ahead and talk. Let's look at a few highlights of Ty Felton when he was out there.
Morris evades and throws and completes it to Ty Felton, the hero they needed.
Shop in the red zone now. Neither team liked their red zone performance a week ago. One-on-one again. This time it might be successful. It is. Ty Felton, touchdown.
Nice run action in the backfield, set up this teardrop for Billy Edwards. Terrapins offense picking up right where they left off in week 1. And after a few misses, some narrow.
Not to throw it downfield, don't just lob one out there.
That actually bails out Maryland quite a bit. If that had been a completion or just anything that, oh my goodness. Felton picks up a loose ball, takes a big-time chance, and gets out to the 27-yard line. Edwards, complete. Touchdown! Ty Felton!
You're going to see Felton absolutely fearless, coming to the middle of the field, making the catch. All types of defenders around him. They would have held him out, but
As you can see, Ty Felton does have breakaway speed. He also has the ability to return punts. So think about this: your player, your team needs somebody who could come in and make impact immediately in the return game. He has that ability with that 4.37 speed. Like I say, he can be the slot receiver at 6'1", 183. Not the biggest man, but he can definitely has that in and out, that quickness, that in and out, that quick step, as the kids say these days. Get the first quick step. So we have a good idea of what this guy can do when it comes to what he can do in the field. We also have a couple other guys we want to talk about here, and that is the next on the list, and that is Jordan Phillips. Now, Jordan Phillips is a 6'2", 310-pound defensive tackle, and this man is he's more than a man. He's a grown ass man. Basically, he will do everything you need when it comes to just stopping the run. So let's take a look at what Jordan Phillips can do on the field. As you can see, they line him up here. They put some pressure on the quarterback, forces him out. He lines up over the guard, blows up the play. Once again, blows up the play in the backfield. Watch him again here. Boom. Just bull rushes the lineman back. And as he goes there, and look, just pushes the lineman back. Once again, pressure on the quarterback. Here he is over the guard. Look at that, pure strength, and just bull rushes the guard back. Boom. Pressure, pressure, pressure. More pressure. Forces the quarterback out. And look at this. Goal line stand. Boom. Again. Boom. As you can see, you get the point there with Jordan Phillips. Like I said, 6'2", 310 pounds. And he can, at the combine, look, some of his numbers are pretty good as he ran a 5'10" 40. Has a 31-inch vertical leap at over 300 pounds is pretty impressive. And his overall profile shows him as, like I said, probably a mid to late 4th, 5th round prospect. Next on my list is someone I think who might be a fantastic pick late in the draft, and that is Caden Prather.
And now Hemby stays in for pass pro, and Edwards passes. He's got an open receiver. Caden Prather, touchdown. Fantastic opening drive for the Terps. And at the end, Caden Prather with the final 18 yards on the touchdown pass. Maryland, 7-0 over Villanova.
Earlier in the week. Going deep. He's got a man. Touchdown, Maryland. Caden Prather pulls it in.
3 with great length, running a go ball on D'Angelo Pons, who's 5'9". And look at Prather. He's got those long legs, long arms, great long speed down the field. And it looked like D'Angelo Pons was expecting some.
It was really his guy. It showed right there. So he was watching some DB tape. Stiff arm down the sideline. Prather breaking it for 6.
Just a simple little hitch route. Get him out there on time. Now he squares up, has time and space.
On second down.
Single.
For the end zone and over the top. And he hit the pylon. Incomplete. 2 national championships, the FCS level, as defensive coordinator. So that was partially advice he had to take himself. Caden Prather, first down, Maryland.
Yeah, first time in school history for that. Got to keep that in mind. Nice awareness.
Edwards to Prather, first down. Hemby making his 33rd start. They fake it to him. Out in space, this is Prather. And Prather has the first down and then some, out to the 25-yard line.
So why not try and go for it and then score a touchdown potentially to go up?
Well, there's your two-point conversion. Caden Prather dives into the end zone, and it is a 6-point game. Makes it a 6-point game. 10:02 remaining.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Caden Prather is a 6'4", 215-pound wide receiver who's got good speed as he ran a. Where was his 4 time? Yeah, he ran a. I'm sorry, I'm still in the Jordan Fields. Caden Prather ran a 4.4640 at the combine, which is pretty good because that means he's got good speed. He's not elite, but you don't have to have elite speed to be a great receiver. You have to have good hands. And he does have good hands at 9 1/4 inch hand size, arm length 31 3/8. He does have he says his 114, even at 6'4", he doesn't have a great vertical at 30 inches, but that, but at 6'4", he can still, go get the ball at the highest point. And then he's got, like I said, this kid's got all the tools to be a solid possession receiver in this league. And at 6'4", like I said, he can definitely win a jump ball against smaller defensive backs. And lastly, I want to talk about today is Dante Traylor Jr., who is a safety. And let's take a look at some of his highlights from this past season.
Mordecai picked off, heading the other way. Maryland's got it. Maryland has the football. Dante Traylor, second interception thrown by Mordecai.
Gage Haskins, he's going to come and sit right in the middle of your screen, but he slips and falls down. And like we talked about earlier, the anticipation, the ball's out. He's on the ground. That's the second time that Mordecai's been burned by either a miscommunication or a receiver falling down. In this case, a tight end, Gage Haskins.
Yep. Hull 86 yards on the ground, 26 through the air. Quick math says 112 total via Ethan Cooperson up here in the booth. To the left side, and it's intercepted. Dante Traylor picked it.
Trying to hit Thomas Gordon, the tight end, but okay, so the college hashes are wider. They're sitting there on the right hash trying to throw out to the left sideline. That's a far way for the ball to go, and it travels for so long that Dante Traylor is able to.
As you can see, Dante Traylor has great instincts on the ball. He can definitely jump on the ball and get there quickly as possible. If you want to take a look at some of his numbers here at the combine, at 5'11", 196 pounds, good prototypical size for a safety. He can probably be a free safety. Ran a 4.52 at the combine. Not super fast, but he's fast enough. And that's the key thing. And if you don't have to be fast, you have to be fast enough. And that's what he is. He also has quite great numbers there at the combine. I just had the numbers here. His ranking. If you look at his numbers, he had 59 tackles, 37 solo, 4 passes defended, 17 interception yards for 1 interception in the senior year. So he is probably going to be one of the best sleepers in the. He can be your nickel. He can be your nickel back. He can be play deep coverage. At Maryland, like I say, he has 5 career interceptions, 2 as a junior, 2 as a sophomore, 2 as a junior, and 1 as a senior. And you can see every year he played, he's gotten better. So like I say, he can be probably a 5th round pick selection here. And then one more guy we want to talk about here before we call it a night is going to be Tommy Akinlate. Excuse me, I'm butchering the names again. So let us take a look at what Tommy does when it comes to his showing on the field.
Transitioned into the fullback position during the preseason. Huckabee stumbles, falls.
Incumbent upon him to make sure his players stay locked in on the task at hand.
Mertz to pass, and he's brought down with the sack.
He's working on the interior, and as he does, he gets some initial push on the inside, and that presses that inside hand directly into the shoulder of the guard. And once he gets that kind of push on the pocket, able to get off the block, get in the face of Graham Mertz for the sack.
scrimmage.
The other good news for Penn State with this kind of a lead is that they can go a little deeper into their depth chart in their offensive front because they've been banged up too. A lot of game time decisions as we touched on. And they're back.
Play clock down under 5. Jones going right up the gut. Dragged down. Tommy Akinbesote with a big play.
Noah Kim's given him some great opportunities. Get a touchdown before the break. Instead, here comes Jonathan Kim. And that is not pretty there for Michigan State as that ball is tipped. And now just going to dive on it. You hear the crowd, but that is not going to be a touchdown.
Yeah, it looked like the operation was clean. Ball came out a little bit low. Protection, Ethan Boyd driven.
We're running out of possessions in this game, chasing 18 points. Going for it on a 4th and 6. And this drive ends with a sack. Tommy Akinbesote.
But the whole thing comes down versus protection. He's had enough and just nowhere to go with the ball. And the reason they can't get there is because of the coverage. Take a look at it. They're going high over the top, and they're taking everything away. Look, you got nothing down here. You got nothing to the top. Everything there is covered.
Getting some experience this year. Oh, here's a running play. Oh, and Tommy Akinbesote, that is blowing it.
It does. And then once.
That's right, Tommy Akinbesote. I was corrected on how to pronounce his name. He is definitely one of the future stars in the NFL, as you can see him right here. 6'4", 306-pound defensive tackle. He fits a lot. He has a lot of the what you call measurables for a defensive tackle. If you want to take a look at some of his numbers here, it's his similarity percentage is interesting here. Calculated based on comprehensive analysis of various factors, including height, weight, 4-yard dash time, etc. Similar evaluation closely. Okay, so he's very similar to. Good question. That was it. Here he is. Kevin Atkins, Cameron Young, Jerry Vincent, who all are probably projected to go higher than him. So I think this kid can be a sleeper pick also late in the draft. And when it comes to what happens with the NFL draft here. So those are just a few guys I want to talk about this week when it comes to the NFL draft. Unfortunately, this is going to be a short show because we are moving and I didn't have time to get enough in detail or more depth of what I want to do. Talk about these guys when it comes to there we go. Jackson Johnson says, "What up, Terp Nation? How you doing, Jackson? Good to hear. Thanks for chiming in." Jackson, if you want to, we can definitely talk a little more about Terp Nation and the draft. I'm going to probably be back here next week after the draft, and we will talk more about where these guys land. So thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in for this short show. And we will be back next week when it comes to talking Terps here on the Voice of Football, the voice of college football at the University of Maryland, College Park. Go Terps, fear the turtle. Talk to you later, guys. Have a good one. Deuces.
Thank you.